Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Speaking-lish podcast. Today we will talk about language variation. Let's see what it means. It refers to regional, social or contextual differences in the ways that a particular language is used. Now let's continue with something more important. There is the difference between spoken and written language. Is that spoken language involves speaking and listening skills, whereas written language involves reading and writing skills. Very good. Now, let's define some important terms that will help us to understand better language variation. The first one is accent. It's the way in which people in a particular area, country, or social group pronounce words. For example, the word chair is pronounced in British English as chair, and in American English is chair. Very good. The second one, dialect, is a form of a language that people speak in a particular part of a country, containing some different words and grammar, etc. For example, the Purepecha and Nahuatl dialects are spoken in Mexico. Very good. Now, variety is used as a cover term for any of the subcategories of a language, including languages, dialects, jargons, slangs, etc. Let's see an example. The government of Mexico uses Spanish in most official purposes. And we can continue with more because, my example is just covering the subcategory of language. Very good, let's continue. With Pidgin. It's a language that has developed from a mixture of two languages. It is used as a way of communicating by people who do not speak each other's languages. For example, in Scotland, there is a Pidgin English, and for them, the question "How are you?" is "How you doing?" Very good. The next one, Gargon. Special words and phrases that are used by particular groups of people, especially in their work. For example, the business term due diligence refers to the research that should be done before making an important business decision. Excellent, guys, let's continue. Slang is very informal language that is usually spoken rather than written, used especially by particular groups of people. For example, chicken is a slang for someone who isn't very brave. Okay, now let's continue with code switching. It means alternation between languages. For example, the use of Spanglish. Well, let's hear a sentence. Suppose that I said, yesterday I liked a lot the tacos que mi amigo me compró. That is an example of code switching. Now let's continue with code mixing. It is hybridization of two languages. For example, the verb watch, well, here in Mexico, was modified to be watchar. For example, watch that girl. Well, in this country, some people use watchar, but personally I don't use it. But as I said, it's an example of code mixing. Now let's continue with social variation. Let's see what it means. It is language variation in practice. There are three kinds of social variation. The first one, age. Let's see an example. The father is reading his son's report. Okay. Your English teacher says you to use too many Americanisms? Oh, well, like that. He's a blah 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 dude. Okay, that's an example. Let's continue with gender. Susan. Sometimes I feel like our souls are intertwined in an endless dance of eternal bliss. And Tom says, you're hot? Well, he didn't understand. And the last one is socio-economic class. Let's see an example. This is your son. It's been in the family 4 generations. Well, it depends on who said that. Well, guys, thank you so much. That's all for today. Please subscribe to Speaking-lish podcast, leave a like and a comment. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time.